Welcome students, my name is Tony Jungan. Today, we are going to embark on an exciting journey into the world of education. Have you ever wondered how learning objectives are structured and how educators design effective lessons? Well, today we are going to explore a powerful framework that helps educators. Right, let's take a look on the Bloom's taxonomy. So, what is Bloom's taxonomy? Bloom's taxonomy is a hierarchical framework that classifies educational objectives and learning outcomes. So, maksudnya taxonomy Bloom ni adalah suatu rangka kerja hierarki yang mengklasifikasikan objektif pendidikan dan hasil pembelajaran, dan juga ia membantu mengatur matlamat pembelajaran ke tahap atau aras yang berbeza. Baik, seterusnya, it organizes learning objectives into 6 levels, arranged in a hierarchical order. Each level builds upon the previous one, promoting higher order thinking skills and encouraging deeper levels of understanding and critical thinking among learners. So, maksudnya ia menganjurkan objektif pembelajaran ke dalam 6 peringkat, disusun mengikut susunan hierarki. Jadi setiap peringkat ia membina tahap sebelumnya, menggalakkan kemahiran berfikir aras tinggi dan menggalakkan pemahaman yang lebih mendalam dan pemikiran kritikal di kalangan pelajar. Now, I will brief you on the founders of Bloom's taxonomy. Who is he? He is Benjamin Bloom, an American educational psychologist born on February 21, 1913 in Lansford, Pennsylvania. He is best known for his work in the field of education and cognitive learning. Bloom made significant contributions to educational theory, curriculum development, and assessment. He is most famous for his development of Bloom's taxonomy, a hierarchical framework that categorizes different levels of cognitive learning and thinking skills. He created this taxonomy in collaboration with a group of other educators known as the Bloom's Taxonomy Group in the 1950s. The taxonomy has since become widely used in educational settings to design learning objectives, assessments, and instructional strategies. When to use taxonomy? As we can see here, there are 2 ways that we can use taxonomy into our education experiences. So the first one is in the instructional objective. So taxonomies can be used during the planning phase to design effective learning experiences. By aligning instructional objectives with the appropriate taxonomy level, educators can ensure that their teaching strategies and activities promote the desired cognitive skills and knowledge acquisitions. Next will be developing items. So the taxonomies used to determine the level of difficulty in educational tasks or assessment. In Bloom's taxonomies, for example, The different levels of cognitive skills are arranged in a hierarchical order, with each level representing a progressively higher level of complexity and difficulty. By identifying the specific level of taxonomy that aligns with the intended learning outcomes or tasks, educators can gauge the level of difficulty associated with it. The higher the taxonomy level, the more complex and challenging the task is likely to be. For example, tasks or questions at the knowledge level of Bloom's taxonomy tend to be less difficult as they primarily involve recalling and recognizing information. On the other hand, tasks at the evaluation level require students to make judgments and assess the value or credibility of ideas, which are typically more challenging. So, by considering the taxonomy level when designing tasks or assessments, educators can ensure that the level of difficulties aligns with the intended learning objectives and the abilities of the learners. So this helps in creating a balanced and appropriate level of challenge for students, promoting their cognitive growth and engagement in the learning process. Instructional objectives. As you can see here, there are 6 guidelines in writing instructional objectives. First point, it is advisable to have not more than 3 objectives per teaching session. It's important to note that the guideline of 3 objectives per teaching session is not a hard and fast rule. The number of objectives can vary depending on factors such as the complexity of the content, the duration of the sessions, and the needs and abilities of the learners. The key is to strike a balance between providing a focused learning experience and avoiding overwhelming students with too much information at once. Second point, it is not necessary to have all domain kept in one teaching objective. By not feeling obligated to include all kept domains in a single objective, you allow for a greater clarity and focus in your instruction. This approach allows you to target specific areas of learning, making it easier to design appropriate activities, assessment, and instructional strategies. It also helps you to avoid overwhelming students with an excessive number of objectives or attempting to address too many different learning outcomes simultaneously. Third point, only the highest level of verb will be written for the same domain. Using only the highest level of verb within the same domain, you provide clarity and precision in your instructional objectives. It helps set clear expectations for the level of cognitive, affective, or psychomotor engagement required from the learners. Moreover, it assists in aligning the objectives with appropriate instructional strategies, assessments, and learning activities that correspond to the target level of complexity or achievement. The fourth point, applied concept of ABCD. It is helpful to apply the concept of ABCD, which stands for audience, behavior, conditions, and degree. This concept provides a framework for crafting clear and effective objectives. By applying the ABC concept, You ensure that your instructional objectives are well defined, precise, and aligned with the needs and abilities of the learners. The fifth point, align with teaching delivery and assessment. Aligning the instructional objectives with the teaching delivery and assessment methods, you create a cohesive and coherent learning experience for students. It ensures that what is taught in the instructional process is consistent with what is assessed, fostering clarity and transparency in the learning journey. The sixth point, choose the level that shows constructive learning. It is important to choose the level of cognitive complexity that promotes constructive learning. Constructive learning refers to a student-centered approach where learners actively construct knowledge and meaning through meaningful engagement with the content. By selecting the appropriate level of cognitive complexity, you can encourage students to think critically, apply their knowledge, and engage in higher order thinking processes. This promotes deeper understanding and the ability to transfer knowledge to real-world contexts. There are three main domains in the taxonomy commonly referred to as Bloom's taxonomy. The first is the cognitive domain. This domain focuses on intellectual abilities and includes the development of knowledge, comprehension, critical thinking, problem solving, and other cognitive skills. It is the most well-known domain of Bloom's taxonomy and provides a framework for categorizing thinking skills. Second, affective domain. This domain deals with emotions, attitudes, and values. It involves the development of learners' feelings, beliefs, and motivations. The affective domain encompasses areas such as attitudes, appreciations, motivations, and social emotional skills. Third, psychomotor domain. This domain involves physical skills and coordinations. It includes the development of motor skills, manual dexterity, and physical movements. The psychomotor domain is primarily concerned with the acquisition of physical skills and the ability to perform tasks that require coordination and muscle control. So, these three domains collectively cover a broad range of learning outcomes, encompassing cognitive, affective, and psychomotor aspects of learning. They provide a comprehensive framework for educators to address different dimensions of learning and development in their instructional planning and assessment practices. So as we can see here, there are two versions of Bloom's taxonomy. The old version was made in 1956 and the revised version was made in 2001. So the old versions of Bloom's taxonomy consisted of 6 levels in hierarchical order, which are knowledge, comprehension, applications, analysis, synthesis, and evaluations. Whereas for the revised version, the structure was slightly modified. The levels were renamed and rearranged as follows: remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. The revisions emphasize the importance of starting with remember as a foundation for higher order older thinking skills. One notable addition in the 2001 revision was the inclusion of the creating level, create. So this level recognizes the importance of fostering creativity and innovations in learners, encouraging them to generate new ideas, designs, and solutions. So for the old versions of Bloom's taxonomy, use nouns as labels for each level, such as knowledge and comprehensions, while the 2001 version will replace the nouns with action verbs to clarify the intended cognitive processes. For example, knowledge became remember and comprehensions became understand. So this shift to action verbs help to make the taxonomy more actionable and learner-centered. So the 2001 revision of Bloom's taxonomy was to maintain the foundational principles of the original taxonomy while incorporating advancements in educational psychology and pedagogy. The changes made in the revisions aim to enhance the clarity, relevance, and applicability of the taxonomy for contemporary educational practices. Let's take a look at the details of the level of Bloom's taxonomy. The first level is remembering. At this level, it involves recalling or recognizing information. It focuses on the ability to remember and understand basic concepts, terms, and ideas. Examples of activities at this level include listing the names of the planets in the solar system, recalling historical events from memory, identifying key vocabulary words in a text. Second level is understanding. At this level, learners demonstrate their understanding of the acquired knowledge by interpreting, explaining, or summarizing information in their own words. Examples of activities at this level include summarizing the main ideas of a story, explaining the cause and effect relationships in a scientific experiment, and interpreting a graph or chart to extract relevant information. The third level is applying. In this level, learners apply their knowledge and comprehensions to solve problems or complete tasks in a new context. It requires the ability to use acquired knowledge in practical situations. Examples of activities at this level include solving mathematical equations or word problems, applying grammatical rules to construct sentences, and using historical knowledge to analyze and solve a case study. The fourth level is analyzing. At the analysis level, learners break down complex information into its constituent parts, identify patterns or relationships, and examine the underlying structures or components. Examples of activities at this level include analyzing a poem to identify its themes and literary devices, deconstructing an argument to identify its logical fallacies, and examining data sets to identify trends and patterns. The fifth level is evaluating. This level involves making judgments, assessing the value or credibility of ideas, theories, or arguments. Evaluation requires critical thinking, decision-making, and an ability to justify opinions based on evidence and criteria. Examples of activities at this level include evaluating the effectiveness of persuasive speech and providing constructive feedback, assessing the credibility of sources and determining their reliability, and critiquing an artistic work based on established criteria. And the sixth level is creating. This is the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. Learners generate new ideas, designs, or solutions by combining different concepts, theories, or elements. Examples of activities at this level include creating an original piece of artwork, designing a prototype for a new invention, and developing a comprehensive business plan for a startup. Simpson's taxonomy. There are 7 levels in Simpson's taxonomy. The first level is perception. At this level, learners are primarily focused on acquiring and recalling basic factual information or recognizing specific elements. The tasks and activities are designed to develop learners' ability to observe, identify, or label basic knowledge or sensory inputs. Examples of activities at this level include recognize and identify different shapes such as circles, triangles, and squares. Next, distinguish between primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow, and secondary colors, orange, green, and purple. Second level, which is set. At this level, learners move beyond simple recognition and begin to make connections, categorize information, and demonstrate a deeper understanding of the content. The tasks and activities are designed to develop learners' ability to organize, classify, and interpret information in meaningful ways. Examples of activities at this level include classify different fruits into categories such as citrus fruits, berries, and tropical fruits. Categorize books in the library according to genres such as fiction, non-fiction, and mystery. The third level, which is guided response. At this level, learners demonstrate their ability to apply what they have learned to solve problems or complete tasks with support and guidance. The tasks and activities are designed to develop learners' ability to apply learned knowledge and skills within specific parameters or guidelines. Examples of activities at this level include follow step-by-step instructions to assemble a model or construct a simple structure using building blocks. Next, use a calculator to solve arithmetic problems or equations following specific guidelines. Fourth level is mechanism. At this level, learners are able to analyze information, break it down into the constituent parts, and then synthesize or reorganize the past in a new and creative way. The tasks and activities are designed to target the mechanism level without guidance, which aim to develop learners' ability to think critically, generate novel ideas, and create unique solutions or products. Examples of activities at this level include: analyze the process of photosynthesis by breaking it down into its stages and explaining the role of each component involved. Next, dissect a complex sentence and identify its grammatical elements, such as subjects, verbs, and modifiers. Fifth level is complex. At these levels, learners not only generate original ideas and products, but also exhibit a high degree of competence and expertise in their creations. They skillfully apply the knowledge, skills, and techniques to produce complex and refined outcomes that surpass typical expectations. This level showcases a mastery of the subject matter and an ability to create outputs at an advanced level. Examples of activities at this level include: create a multimedia presentation that combines text, images, and videos to explain a scientific concept or historical event. Other than that, and build a prototype for new inventions or innovative product that addresses a specific problem or need. The sixth level is adaptations. At this level, the ability of learners to modify or adjust their existing knowledge and skills to address unique or complex situations. It requires them to go beyond simply applying what they have learned in a straightforward manner and instead make necessary adjustments or modifications to suit the specific problem at hand. Examples of activities at this level include: evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of different research methodologies and determine the most appropriate approach for a specific study. Other than that, critically assess the credibility and reliability of various resources of information, such as articles, websites, or news reports. The seventh level is origination. At this level, the ability of learners to generate new ideas, products, or solutions by combining, designing, composing, or constructing elements in a creative and innovative way. It represents the pinnacle of cognitive development, where learners demonstrate the highest level of mastery and originality. Examples of activity at this level include: devise a comprehensive business plan for starting a new venture, including market analysis, financial projections, and growth strategies. Other than that, create a detailed proposal for implementing an environmental conservation initiative in the local community, outlining goals, strategies, and potential outcomes. Krathwohl's taxonomy. In Krathwohl's taxonomy, it has 5 levels. The first level is receiving or attending. Receiving refers to the student's willingness to attend to a particular phenomena or stimuli. From a teaching standpoint, it is concerned with getting, holding, and directing the student's attention. Learning outcomes in this area range from the simple awareness that a thing exists to selective attention on the part of the learner. Receiving represents the lowest level of learning outcomes in the affective domain. Second level is responding. Responding refers to active participation on the part of the student. At this level, they not only attend to a particular phenomenon but also reacts to it in some way. Learning outcomes in this area may emphasize acquiescence in responding or satisfaction in responding. The higher levels of this category include those instructional objectives that are commonly classified under interests, that is, those that stress the seeking out and enjoyment of particular activities. Third level, valuing. Valuing is concerned with the worth or value a student attaches to a particular object, phenomenon, or behavior. This ranges in degree from the simpler acceptance of a value to the more complex level of commitment. Valuing is based on the internalizations of a set of specified values, but clues to these values are expressed in the student's overt behavior that is consistent and stable enough to make the value clearly identifiable. Instructional objectives that are commonly classified under attitudes and appreciation will fall into this category. The fourth value, organizing. Organizing is concerned with bringing together values, resolving conflicts between them, and beginning the building of an internally consistent value system. Thus, the emphasis is on comparing, relating, and synthesizing values. Learning outcomes may be concerned with a conceptualization of a value or with the organization of a value system. Instructional objectives relating to the development of a philosophy of life would fall into this category. The fifth level, characterizing. At this level of affected domain, the individual has a value system that has controlled his behavior for a sufficiently long time for him to develop a characteristic lifestyle. Thus, behavior is pervasive, consistent, and predictable. Learning outcomes at this level cover a broad range of activities, but a major emphasis is on the fact that the behavior is typical or characteristic of the student. Instructional objectives that are concerned with the student's general patterns of adjustment will be appropriate. Dear students, as we conclude this video, I want to take a moment to address each and every one of you directly. This discussion of Bloom's taxonomy is not just about educational theories and concepts. It is about you and your growth and your potential. Through Bloom's taxonomy, you have the opportunity to embark on a journey of discovery and transformation. From remembering and understanding foundational knowledge to applying and analyzing information, you are building a solid foundation of skills and competencies that will serve you well in all aspects of life. Remember that learning is not always easy. It requires effort, perseverance, and willingness to step out of your comfort zone. But know that with each step you take, you are expanding your knowledge, sharpening your skills, and becoming more well-rounded individuals. To end this, I want to leave you with one final thought. Education is not a destination, but a lifelong pursuit. Embrace every opportunity to learn, to grow, and to challenge yourself. Bloom's Taxonomy is here to support you on this incredible journey. Thank you, and may your educational path be filled with curiosity, discovery, and endless possibilities.